Hello fans, welcome to another piece of news. Today we have a bombshell that is shocking all Minnesota Vikings fans. But first, if you are not yet subscribed to our news channel, then take this opportunity to subscribe. Leave a like here too, because these videos are a lot of work to make and we bring everything here to you firsthand. Now today we have two bombshells. Let's go to the first one today. With uncertainty at the Giants, Jameis Winston could emerge as a target for the Minnesota Vikings. As the 2025 NFL season approaches and training camps enter the radar of the 32 franchises, final adjustments to the rosters take priority. Among cuts, specific signings, and possible trades, one specific situation draws attention: the possible departure of Jameis Winston from the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings appear as a logical candidate to attempt a trade. It is worth noting that, for now, this is a prediction, not confirmed information. But the scenario is clearly outlined, and the Vikings' interest could make perfect sense in the coming days. Giants with excess quarterbacks, Winston on the way out with Russell Wilson confirmed as the starter and rookie Jackson Dart impressing. In off-season workouts, the Giants seem to have their preferred duo defined. Dart has even gained the trust of coach Brian Daboll, and depending on how he develops in training camp, could even put pressure on Wilson throughout the season. In this context, Jameis Winston has become a surplus player on the roster. And with teams about to reduce their rosters to the 53-man limit, New York should try to compensate via trade and not simply cut Winston for free. The Minnesota Vikings continue to project J.J. McCarthy as the starter for 2025. The second-year quarterback, chosen with the 10th overall pick in the 2024 draft, is the future of the franchise. However, he has yet to see action in the NFL. He missed his rookie season after knee surgery, and the team should avoid any risk of rushing his adaptation. In addition, Minnesota's roster is set to compete now, with names like Justin Jefferson, TJ, in the event of an injury or McCarthy's inconsistency. The current group of reserves, Sam Howell and Brett Rypien, do not inspire enough confidence to sustain a solid campaign. The potential arrival of Jameis Winston would fill that void. The 10-season veteran has played in a variety of offensive systems, has experience as a starter, and could provide more stability than any current option on the roster. In 2024, playing for the Cleveland Browns, Winston recorded 2,121 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. While turnovers are a point of concern, it's important to remember that Kevin O'Connell's system favors quarterbacks with quick reads and rhythm control, a skill that helped Sam Darnold have a surprising season in Minnesota last year. Under O'Connell's tutelage and with less responsibility than he had in Cleveland, Winston could not only deliver solid performances in an emergency, but also serve as a mentor and backroom support for McCarthy. Winston's eventual departure from the Giants creates a rare trade opportunity at this stage of the offseason. And given the context of the Vikings roster ready to compete but with an inexperienced quarterback taking over, the fit seems natural. Minnesota needs an experienced, reliable backup. Jameis Winston needs a new environment where he can contribute without the pressure of being the savior of the nation. The marriage of those two interests could happen in the coming weeks. Veteran Ryan Tanahill back on Vikings radar as 2025 safety option. With the 2025 NFL season fast approaching, the Minnesota Vikings are already beginning to outline the final adjustments before training camp, and among the questions that still hang over the roster, one of them is gaining strength again: the backup quarterback position. A veteran name, long known in team rumors, is back in the spotlight. Ryan Tanahill, the former Tennessee Titans starter, had been considered before, especially in 2024, when Sam Darnold faced a shaky moment during his time in Minnesota. Now in June 2025, with the QB2 spot still being evaluated internally, Tanahill was once again mentioned as a possible alternative for Kevin O'Connell's team. The most recent speculation came in the Q and a newsletter of journalist Alec Lewis from The Athletic. Commenting on the current situation at the position, Lewis said, "There aren't many alternatives. If the Vikings aren't confident in Sam Howell, they could try to convince Ryan Tanahill to take over. Taking Kirk Cousins away from the Falcons is another emergency option." Lewis also noted that Daniel Jones was also a viable option for the position, but he didn't make any progress in negotiations. Therefore, if Howell can deliver performance close to Jones' level, the Vikings can consider themselves satisfied, at least for now. Faith in Sam Howell is in fact the central point of the discussion. The 23-year-old quarterback arrived via trade with the Seahawks during the draft and needs to prove that he can be a reliable alternative if J.J. McCarthy is unavailable. Although Howell threw for almost 4,000 yards in 2023, his 21 interceptions raise questions about his consistency. The coaching staff appreciates Brett Rypien's intelligence and contribution off the field, and rookie Max Brossemer, despite his promise, is inexperienced. Neither of them, however, has Howell's physical package and game experience. Still, Lewis notes, Howell may not be that different from Sam Darnold, and if that's the ceiling, it's up to the Vikings to decide if that's enough for a team with real ambitions in 2025. The main argument in Tanahill's favor is experience. At 36, the quarterback has a history of starting in the playoffs and a style of play that fits the Vikings offense. Even though he won't play in 2024, he's still seen as a reliable insurance policy if something happens to McCarthy during the season, especially considering the rookie missed all of last year with a knee injury. But it's worth considering. If Minnesota really wanted Tanahill, it could have signed him months ago. The same reasoning applies to a potential return for Kirk Cousins, who is still on the radar for a possible trade with the Falcons, but whose cost and age complicate the scenario. Furthermore, there is a real possibility that Tanahill has already played his last season in the NFL. At 36 years old, and out of the league since 2023, the veteran could opt for retirement. Quarterbacks in this age group who spend an entire season away from the field rarely return at a high level, and almost never as an immediate solution. If the Vikings eventually decide to pursue another veteran option, and neither Tanahill nor Cousins are viable, other names still remain available on the market. Among the free agents available as of June 23rd are Carson Wentz, Bridgewater, C.J. Beathard, Tyler Huntley, Desmond Ridder, Jaron Hall, Tanahill, and other possibilities. It is worth remembering that last month, Sports Illustrated linked Ryan Tanahill to the New Orleans Saints as an alternative safety in case Tyler Shaw or Spencer Rattler are not ready to take over the team. Tanahill, who was the Titans starter from 2019 to 2023, is approaching his 37th birthday and is still looking for another opportunity in the league. Although he didn't play in 2024, he believes he can still contribute to a competitive team. Bottom line, unless something drastically changes during training camp, like an injury or a poor performance by Howell, the Vikings will likely stick with their current quarterback group. However, names like Tanahill remain on the radar, ready to be activated if the original plan with McCarthy and Howell falls apart.